guys, Jen here. So today we're going to make a farmhouse door hanger using one of the round signs from Dollar Tree. I have this one, and then I have a summer one that I'm going to use one of the round signs that you can find from Dollar Tree. And then I'm also going to use some printable images from Google to make this frame, and then some greenery. So whether you have greenery from Walmart or from Dollar Tree, whichever ones that you want, Walmart does have some really good stuff there. Alright guys, so I wanted to show you what I'm up to with this sign. The first thing is that I put the spackling on. So I used the Dollar Tree spackling, and I just covered my nail hole. And I also, when I took the sticker off, there was some sticky stuff. So I went ahead and covered it here, and then I sanded it with my Dollar Tree block. And I have sanding stuff everywhere. Let me clean this up real quick. Okay, so when I sanded this, I was just very careful up here not to dig too deep. And then I am using the medallion sign, and there was a couple spots where the paper hung over. My friend, I just saw a spot. So where it wasn't on exactly right. So I just took my little X-Acto knife and went underneath and just trimmed it off, which worked perfectly. Now I've decided not to take the paper off of this, just because I feel like that was more work than needed, and I think it would make a huge mess. So I am going to Mod Podge over this and put down my craft paper so that it's brown on the back and not this medallion. So the craft paper I use, I get from the Dollar Tree, and it's usually in the gift wrap section. And I've really honestly just started doing this on my crafts, and just to give it a more finished, more professional look, especially since I have recently been giving away a lot of my projects. And so I want to make sure that you know, if I'm just hanging up in my house, it's no big deal that they have, you know, a Dollar Tree Easter sign on the back or whatever. But if I'm giving it away, or if somebody wants to hang it on a door that maybe has a clear or glass background, I want them to, you know, hang it up with confidence and not, you know, I don't want it to look janky. So I am really concentrating on the edges here of this sign, because I want to make sure that my craft paper stays down nice and firm. So like I said, I just used the Jock craft paper from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to just cut a piece that's big enough for the circle, and then enough to have a little bit hanging over the edge, because I like to have a paint palette, if you will. So I'm just going to really push down those edges, try to get as many of the bubbles out as I can. The good thing about this is it does wrinkle, so I say good because then it will just fold over and you don't have to worry about it. And then I will keep this craft paper on here the whole time I'm painting, just so I have a little paint palette. Sometimes if you take a glue stick over this and rub it down, it will roll it down. It will help sometimes. Or a rolling pin or something. Alright, so now we're going to get started on the front. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is take our chalk paint and paint this. So I can't find white right now, But I have this lovely color called Nimbus in the Waverly chalk paint. It's a very, very subtle light gray. And matter of fact, when I have tried to distress on the white with it, you can't even, it doesn't even show up. So I think this is a great alternative to white if you cannot find white. Again, that's Nimbus in the Waverly chalk paint. Like I said, it's just very subtle gray. And I think it's going to be perfect for our farmhouse sign. Try and get my brush strokes out here. This is also a really good time to go around the edge, especially since we have that this palette here. I call it a palette. And this paper will be very easy to cut off at the end with a razor blade, so you don't have to worry about that. Make sure I get my edges really good. Okay, now I'm going to go just over this and make sure my brush strokes are even. But other than that, we're going to be done with this. We may distress a little bit. I haven't decided yet. If I do, I'll probably distress with truffle. Alright, so again, this is the Nimbus color. It's very, very white-like, if you will. So, alright, we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to start working on our decoration. Okay, so now I decided to put some slats in here, so I took my ruler, and I measured down about every 2 inches. And now I'm going to create some slats. I'm going to do this in pencil first, just in case I mess up. I don't have a level, which I wish I did. I don't have it with me right now. So we're going to eyeball this and try to make sure that this stays straight. I'm just doing this really lightly in pencil. I'm kind of using the guideline from my mat to help. Okay, so we'll go back over this with paint as well. Alright, so I'm going to use my painter's pen here that I got at Walmart. And I'm going to go over these slats. And I'm not worried about it being perfect. I am going to sand it to distress it. But I'm going to just take my arm and I'm going to pull my whole arm down. And that helps get a more straighter line. So if I just keep my wrist straight and actually pull my arm. And if you do one solid stroke, you don't have any of those spots where you can tell that you've picked up the paint pen. Okay. We're going to let that dry for a second, and then we're going to do stress using the Truffle Waverly chalk paint. Alright, so with my truffle, I'm going to take a dry brush. I'm just going to dip it in the lid, and I'm going to use the corner of my brown paper to dab some of that paint off, and then we're going to dry brush. And I want to focus on the edges. And pull it in, pull the paint in. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And I'm going to start out on the paper and pull it in so that I don't get any of those brush marks. And anywhere that you feel like it's too dark, we can sand it. We're going to sand it anyway. So now I'm going to pull the paint all the way across. And we're just going to kind of weather this a little bit. And we'll let that dry, and then we'll come back and sand. Okay, so now that this is dry, we're going to distress it using our Dollar Tree sanding sponge. Okay, so now I want to use a damp cloth and dry this or wipe this off to get. Okay, so now that our board is distressed and sanded and cleaned, we can work on our words. So I have this that I printed off from just a Google image, and I took 2 pieces of paper and then I taped them together. So now we're going to trim it around so we can place it on our board. Okay, so we're ready to put our letters on. Everything is cleaned up and ready to go. So this is just a Google image that I printed off of Google. So what I'm going to do is start by coloring the back with a pencil so that I can make a stencil. So you just want to color over all of the letters and the vine as well. So go ahead and color all of this, and color rather hard so that you get lots of lead on there. Okay, so now that I have colored all over the back of this, I'm going to trace the letters. I'm going to trace everything to try to make a stencil on the board. Now the only thing is, this board's a little dark, but it's not dark enough for chalk. So we're going to have to really press down and really watch what we're doing. So I'm just going to trace everything and push down kind of hard and hope. Oh, it's working. Okay. So I want to go ahead and trace everything on the board, and then I'll show you the stencil, and then we'll start painting with the paint pen and the chalk paint. Okay, so I have my stencil on here. It's kind of hard to see, but it is there. It's very easy to see in the regular light. So I'm going to use agave chalk paint to do the leaves. I've not used this color before, but it's usually sold out when I go to the store. But I just thought it was so pretty. So I'm going to put a little in my dish here. And I think it's going to take a couple coats on, especially the leaves and stuff like that. So I'm going to just get started tracing the leaves. So I'm just going to follow my stencil and paint the leaves and the word to. Okay, so I painted on with the agave, with the leaves and the word to. Now I'm going to go with my painter's marker I got from Walmart and do the letters. So this is just one of those pump markers. And I'm just going to trace. I see a wet spot, so I'm going to go this way. So I'm just going to trace with my paint marker and then color it in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the letters with this paint marker. Okay, so I have the black letters done now, and I just used my pen. Now I'm going to use a white paint pen and go over some of the leaves and give it a little bit of accent. So I'm trying to find my white paint pen that's already open. I thought I had one that's already open. Okay, so what I'm thinking is to just kind of go into where a few of the leaves are and kind of highlight. So just like that is what I'm thinking. I think it just adds a little, just a little bit. Okay, so now is where you make some decisions. So I decided that I'm going to actually put this on a wreath, but you could totally make this a door hanger. I know the beginning of the video says this is a door hanger. So at this point, you would just put some type of twine or something on the back to be a hanger. But like I said, I decided I'm going to do a wreath. So, and I may go back and edit the video so that it says wreath too, so no one's confused with that. But there are some choices here. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so to do this wreath, I'm going to try something a little different, so I may have to stop and restart because I've never done like this before. But you're going to put on some pipe cleaners. I cut mine in half. I'm hoping that's enough room. But I put one around each crossbar. So I went around the top two at the crossbar, and then I went in between on the two middle rings for it ended up two. And I did run out of white, so I have one green one. That's what that one's about. So I've cut my mesh at 8 inches. And the reason I cut my mesh at 8 inches is simply because this was left over from my 4th of July wreath. So what I'm going to do is take my mesh and crinkle it like this, and try and kind of get like a little bow. Okay? I'm putting 2 of them together, maybe 3. We'll start with 2. And I'm going to go around and put this inside these 2 pipe cleaners. Give it a nice tight twist, but leave room to put other things. And then I'm going to kind of spread this out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to keep doing that all the way around the inside first. Then we'll go around the outside. So let's do the inside first, making these all nice, almost like little butterflies. So I want to show you how I'm cutting my mesh. I did run out of the stuff I already had pre-cut, so I'm going to cut some more. This is just a Dollar Tree mesh. I have my Caterpillar tempered glass cutting board, my wood burner, and I'm cutting these at 8 inches. And what's really cool about this cutting glass is that it has measurements on it. So I don't have to worry about keeping a ruler or my dirty mat underneath. But you just run your wood burner or your rotary cutter or your scissors at 8 inches to cut this mesh. Okay, so now that I've cut my second row of mesh, I'm going to continue with scrunching 2 sections and putting them around now the outer ring. So what I like is this has some stripes in it, and so I can just kind of follow that to make sure that my crumples are relatively straight. Second one's always harder because you have your hand full of the first one. Okay. I'm just going to start here. Put in my, and then just kind of twist around. Now here's the thing that I was kind of working with, is taking these and kind of laying them flat, since we are making this new pancake wreath I've been seeing everywhere. I have not tried one with Dollar Tree mesh, so I was really excited to try this out. So you just kind of roll it around on top of each other until it makes a flat flower, if you will. Takes a little bit of practice, but you can see it's nice and flat now, and we can go on to the next one. So go ahead and go all the way around, and then we're going to work on ribbons. Okay, so now that all of our mesh is on, we are going to work on ribbons. So I have 3 different types of ribbons. I have this burlap polka dot from the Dollar Tree. I picked up this one actually yesterday from Walmart for $1. This is a burlap with a white stripe. And then I got this one, which is a burlap check or gingham from Old Time Pottery. And we're going to, and I think this one was $2. And we're going to cut these at 9 inches. So I'm done with my tempered glass mat, so I'm going to get rid of that so it's out of my way. And we're going to cut these ribbons at 9 inches. And these 3 ribbons will be a set. So each time that you cut, you'll do all 3 ribbons at 9 inches. and then we're going to dovetail them. So the easiest way to do that is to fold in half again, and then on the folded side, cut towards the open side at an angle. You get that beautiful dovetail. So we're going to do that on all 3 of these ribbons, and then we're going to stack them. Alright, so since this is my biggest ribbon, my thickest ribbon, I'm going to put that down first, then my gingham or my check, and then my polka dot. Now I'm going to kind of scrunch this in the middle the same way I did my mesh. And I'm going to put ribbons at every bundle. Alright guys, so I am so mad right now because as I was editing my video, I lost footage. I don't know where it went. I'm not sure if my camera just shut off or what happened. My disc is not full, so I'm not really sure what happened, so I'm really upset about this. But I feel like I can explain this to you because the wreath is done. I don't want to take it apart to recap on the video. So what I'm going to do is just kind of give you a little overview of how I finished off this wreath. Right before it cut off, I was telling you that I put bundles of ribbon at each one of the pipe cleaners. Then what I also did is I took some boxwood from Walmart. They're 97 cents and it's a great find. I took the boxwood, I cut it apart and took the big sprigs and put them into each pipe cleaner, and then put a little bit of hot glue on there to make sure that it stayed in place. That's really all you missed, was me putting in the boxwood. I really just trimmed off the end of the sprig and then just put it on each one of the pipe cleaners so that everything was symmetrical. To put this sign on, I'll flip this over so you can see. I put my sign down and then I took a pencil and I marked where each one of the crossbars was on my sign. And then I took these pipe cleaners, these green ones, and I used my regular Boss Stitch stapler and stapled them onto the board. I didn't go in very deep, so I stapled and then bent the staple over. I'm sorry you cannot see that. And then I took the hot glue and I covered the staple just to give it some more stability. Then I took the green pipe cleaners and wrapped them around each crossbar to make sure that my sign was secure. Okay, then the big thing that we missed on here is the reveal of how thick this wreath is. You know, most of the mesh wreaths with ribbon and signs are going to be anywhere between 3 and 4 inches tall, thick, and that causes them not to be able to fit between screen doors and whatnot. This wreath, I can get my ruler out, I don't know if you can see, but this wreath is right at 2 inches thick. And I did put it between my screen door, and it is perfect. It does not get flattened at all because it's already flat and beautiful. So that is what you missed. I'm so sorry that you missed the end of the video. If you have specific questions, please put them in the comments. I will answer your comments and your questions. Just let me know. Like I said, really the only thing you missed was me cutting the boxwood and putting it into each pipe cleaner and then adding the sign, which are very, very simple, easy steps. So I will hang this up real quick so that you can see it on the wall and you can see how beautiful it is. Okay, here is our beautiful wreath up on the wall. I love this wreath. I think it has the perfect amount of farmhouse elements to it. The boxwood really, really brings out the leaves and the colors and the natural ribbons. I just love this. I can't wait to hang this on my door at my new home. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, big thumbs up, and hit that bell notification so that you never miss an upload. And until next time, keep crafting.